Hey everybody, you made it. Welcome to the last week of class. For better or for worse, it's all going to end this week. Hey everybody, it is upon us. This is the last week of instruction as well as finals week. This video is going to cover both, which means this is our last video. After this, you will no longer see me and not care about this class, but that's all right. Yeah, what can I say? This week's going to be a little bit different, but hopefully in a good way. And it's also going to contain the final exam, which is kind of, an important thing to finish out the class. All right, so let's start talking about that final exam. The final exam is 150 multiple choice questions. Those questions come from the exact same pools as the quizzes, which means that this is just going to feel like a really long quiz. The only difference is instead of taking it in Canvas, you're going to take it in my IT lab. But it's still multiple choice. It's fairly straightforward. You can still bounce between the questions if you want. You can still save for later, take your time, etc. Now here's the thing though. You only get one submission for the final exam. So think about those answers before you hit submit. With the quizzes, there have been formative assessments. You've been able to do them as many times as you want until you get the grade that you want. For the final exam, this is more of a summative assessment. It's something that's going to end, right? So we want to see how much you've actually absorbed over the course of the semester. Now, you're taking it from home. It's open note, open book. There's nothing I can do about that. But the idea is you get that one submission, so make sure you make it count, all right? A couple missed questions is not going to tank your grade. But it is worth 10% of your final grade. So especially if you're on the border between two grades, don't let this be the thing that drops you to that lower grade. Now, I will also say that a lot of people in the past in these online classes, our finals week, and this is the reason that this is a combined video for our last week of instruction and for finals week. A lot of people have said in the past, their normal pace, they work full-time during the week and then they do their schoolwork on the weekends. And this is pretty common for online students. And so our finals week schedule is set up to be Monday through Thursday. Well, Monday through Thursday works great for scheduled final exam periods on campus, but it doesn't sort of give you that freedom. And so that's why essentially the final exam for finals week is being released early. That way you will still have finals week, you'll still have access to that Monday through Thursday period, but it'll be sort of a backup to this week. So final exam this week, you'll have through the weekend to do it, as well as you can submit stuff for this week all the way through Thursday of next week. Thursday night, 11:59 p.m., is when the class ends. So anything has to be done by then, all right? So that's the final exam. Hopefully you guys do a great job. That is the last required thing in this class. I know what you're thinking. Why did you say required like that? It's because we have some other assignments this week. But these other assignments are optional, right? And I do this every semester. It kind of just helps people who have had a bad week at some point during the semester. We all have a bad week. I understand that. And so here in the last week, in the spirit of Christmas or whatever holiday you happen to celebrate around this time, let's do a little something. Actually, although I do this in the spring semester too, and they don't have Christmas at the end of their semester. Regardless, last week of instruction, there is a new discussion. The discussion is on the class itself. What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? It's stupid simple, right? It's meant to just, for me, to get feedback from students to see what was something that you enjoyed about the class, some aspect of it. It could be a structural thing about the class, maybe something that I'm doing in the online environment that you like. You would say you should definitely keep doing this, as well as, or maybe it's actually an assignment. Maybe it was like, man, I really liked the part on Excel because it was really helpful for my job, or it could just be I really liked this one discussion that we did. I thought that was really helpful. Whatever it is, right? Something you enjoyed about the class. The other side is, what would you change? What was your least favorite part of the class? And even if you thought it was okay and acceptable, maybe it was still just your least favorite, right? It could be an assignment. Maybe, man, I really hated the My IT labs on Access or something. I thought they were really confusing or difficult, or the instructions were bad. Tell me what was going on there. Because I can pass that on to the publisher, we can make changes, or I can have supplemental materials to make that better, kind of like I did for Excel. It could also be that maybe there was something structurally about the class that you didn't like. You found the 1 week grace period to be confusing. I don't know, right? It's your opinion, but that's the idea. Give me the best part of the class for you, the worst part of the class for you, and that is your final discussion. The thing that makes this discussion optional is that if you do the discussion, it will just replace your lowest discussion score from the rest of the semester, which means that if you have a 0, if there was 1 week where you just didn't get onto the discussion boards, this will end up replacing one of those other weeks. If you've done every discussion, you don't have to do this discussion. You're not going to get points. I wouldn't mind getting the feedback, but you don't need the points. So from your perspective, you don't really need to do it. Now we also have an optional lab. That optional lab, there are lots of instructions, some videos to kind of help you through because it's a bit more complicated. It's a bit of a process. There's a lot of things I wanted to get done in this class, but I've already told you, it's been sort of a weird semester for me. But we got through everything we needed to get through, and this last lab is sort of a standalone. So anyway, check out the instructions if you want to do it. If you've missed a lab from the past, this lab will replace one of your labs that you've missed. If you've done all the labs, you're satisfied with your score, you don't have to do this one. So it's an optional lab that's set up there. And like I said, there are instructions and videos walking you through the process of how to do it. They're in Canvas all set up for you. So another option to replace a lab that maybe you missed at some point during the semester. And I know what you're thinking, what about the quiz? Is there anything I can do to replace a missing quiz score? The answer is no. There's nothing you can do because we are out of quizzes. We've taken all 13 quizzes from the book. There are no more quizzes to give you. The final exam is kind of like a huge quiz, but that one's required, right? So what we're going to do is just say, well, forget it. We're going to drop the lowest quiz score. So like the other ones, whatever your lowest quiz score is, it's just going to automatically be removed from your grade. All right, so that means that this week you have the final exam, which you must do. It is required. It is not dropping anything. It is not being dropped. The final exam is new and you must do it. But there is a discussion, and that discussion, if you do it, will replace your lowest discussion score. So you can eliminate a missing discussion this week. There is a lab, and if you do that lab, it will replace your other labs that you've missed, right? Like some other lab, it will be replaced, so you can cover up a 0 for that. And then also your quizzes, you don't have to do anything. You're just going to get one of your quizzes, one of the 13, removed whatever your lowest score was, including a 0. So point being, you're sort of getting that 1 week forgiveness for something that maybe happened in the past. Everybody has a bad week. So like I said, all of those will be removed. Final exam is new, and that's our week. That's our final week together. Like I said, even if you don't need it, I would love for you to participate in the discussion just so I get your feedback. But, I understand. You're students. You got other stuff to do, and you've got a lot of other finals, my guess would be, this semester. So regardless, hopefully this little bit of earliness is good for you. You can actually get the final done this week and then not worry about it next week during finals week. And you can focus on other classes. So anyway, have a great winter break. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the rest of your college career and other careers. And I guess I'll see you online one last time. Have a great week.